Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to talk about being vulnerability. It's one of the wonderful abilities humans get to do, to experience in life. And not very often we practice it or we meet people that are truly vulnerable. Um, and it's just so powerful that I just want to give you a few of the main benefits that we receive when we get to be vulnerable. And let's just start by saying that it is uncomfortable. And I think it takes practice, it takes maybe some work, let's put it that way. Yeah, it takes a little work until you learn how to feel comfortable. And I think that even the word sounds like, you hear the word like being vulnerable, and I feel like it creates a little reaction right away. It's like, ugh. It triggers something inside of us, and it's just wonderful and it's beautiful, and we all have done it without thinking about it in some moments in our life. So we all have that memory of the feeling, how it feels when we get to express ourselves from that place, when we put our ego on the side and we're like, I'm not gonna fight for, I'm not gonna pretend, I'm not gonna fight, I'm not, it's not worth it. It feels way better to be who I am. So I think staying true to yourself is the first benefit, right? Keeping your integrity of who you are, who you want to be. The most wonderful that I find is, well, the three ones that I'm sharing, they're all wonderful, but I think it's very beautiful how deep we can get in the relationships when we get to be vulnerable. Is when I see it the most. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful with friends, with family, with partners, when you get to show what you really have in your heart, in your mind. Allows the other people to really get to know you deeper, at a deeper level. And also you allow them to decide if they want you, or what they like about you, but I feel like it's easier to just create this image around us and don't show exactly who we are, just to stay, it's just a silly behavior we humans have. But yeah, to be safe, to not be hurt by other people, and also to avoid the discomfort of the other person not liking you. The person probably is going to feel uncomfortable if they don't like you, and you are going to feel uncomfortable if they don't like you. So we do all these silly dances of changing, what we think or what we feel, just to make people comfortable. And the other, so yeah, when we don't do that dance, it's so beautiful. You get in a short conversation, in a 5 minute conversation, you get to know so much about the other person. And so there's not room for taking things personally. I feel like a lot of the times when we experience when we feel like we're taking things personally, I feel like that has to do a lot with our ego, thinking that the other person, and sometimes yes, the other person has the intention of competing with you or attacking you, right? That's silly things. But when you are vulnerable, you allow the other person, and you feel it, you feel the energy, you allow the person to see truly, without any desire of competing or need of winning or anything like that. You just show exactly who you are, the other person feel it. And the energy in those kind of conversations with everyone is vulnerable. It's just so wonderful. No one takes anything personally, and you can just like create, so much happens when we meet people at that level, and so much goodness. It's all good. Like, I feel like it never goes wrong, even if the person even if you don't like something about the person, because you are at that level of vulnerability, you just understand who the person is, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's who they are. It's just not my thing. But yeah, it doesn't give you that feeling of, oh, this person is being, what's a good word for this, like has bad intentions about, you know, competing with me, or denying what I'm saying, or you know what I mean. I hope it's making sense what I'm trying to share. But yeah, the quality of connections with people when we are vulnerable is absolutely wonderful. And the third benefit that I find that it's so beautiful too is when we are vulnerable and we're just, you know, sharing our hearts and our thoughts with the world. We don't even realize, because I think when we're being vulnerable, our whole intention is just to be there and show who we really are. Being vulnerable, when you're vulnerable, you don't have any intentions of anything. You're just like, I'm just being me, right? So that energy, what happens when we are expressing ourselves from that place, not like, again, it's like we're not even planning anything, and what happens is that we touch others. Like, we don't even have to do anything, just by us showing from our heart who we are, always creates this wonderful interaction with others, where others see their reflection in what you're sharing. But you create that only when you share from your heart, when you are being vulnerable. You know, when we are just like, oh my god, I'm just, you know, from the ego, from these images or ideas, personas we create, characters we create, it doesn't go too far. Maybe people get inspired for a little bit, but they go with their dates and they reflect later about it, and they're like, when you're vulnerable, when you share from your heart, that stays, that lands where it has to land always, and it stays with people forever. So yeah, it's kind of like a little invitation to, and it's scary. That's for sure. And I don't think, maybe one day it's just very it become very comfortable for you, for us to do it. But I think there's always a little bit of, there's a little layer of discomfort and being vulnerable, so it makes it scary, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And something that I've been experiencing is that and maybe I have another video, maybe I will link it below, but one of the main, maybe I say this already, but yeah, the reason why most people don't do it is because of the discomfort. Yes, I talked about this already. We don't want to feel disliked by people. We are very afraid to feel that way, which is so silly. We just haven't done it. We haven't normalized it. We haven't done it that much to know that the benefits are way better than staying in not doing it. Hopefully, humans, we can normalize this soon, and it will be just so, like, the interactions with everyone would be so amazing. You would get very excited to just, you know, walk on the street and say hi to everyone. Me here dreaming. But yeah, a little invitation for you to check with yourself and reflect a little bit how vulnerable you are at the moment. If you're already a very vulnerable person, my whole heart, and celebrate you. Amazing that you are already practicing this amazing ability humans have. If you are just, you know, curious watching this video and you're getting a little inspired, I celebrate you as well, and I hope you have an amazing journey practicing how to be a little bit more vulnerable. Why not a little bit more? The more we do it, the better it feels. And honestly, it's just like what happens. That's the magic I would love you to experience. and to realize that exists. When we get to be vulnerable, what happens with the world, how things start moving in our lives, when we, as they say it in at the yoga classes, when we learn how to be present in the discomfort. It's like the discomfort, yes, I think is always gonna be with us, but we start relating to the discomfort in a different way. So yeah, at the beginning it's gonna be a little uncomfortable, but you're gonna learn so much and you're gonna feel so great and you're gonna start attracting so many amazing, wonderful things into your life. Please, if you have any experience related to this subject, I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out, to leave comments. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you on my next video. Peace and love, and have fun being vulnerable.